Today we learn about molasses. Yesterday I picked up a carton of molasses and realized I had no idea what molasses was made of. Turning it around to read the ingredients list, I was surprised to find the only ingredient listed was molasses. A quick Google search told me that molasses is a viscous byproduct of refining sugar cane or sugar beets into sugar. I already knew that molasses is primarily used for sweetening and flavoring food in North America, and as an animal feed additive in Europe and Russia. Here are some of the other uses for molasses, ranked in order of importance. As the main ingredient in the distillation of rum, in dark beers such as stouts and porters, used as a sweetener in gingerbread, as an additive in tobacco smoked in a hookah or shisha, as the defining ingredient in brown sugar, in cookies, pies, and barbecue sauce, as the main ingredient in the production of citric acid, mixed with magnesium chloride and used for de-icing, and to promote healing on potatoes after a hailstorm. If you're watching in Latvia, this ranks as the most important. Molasses has a sticky history. Besides being the viscous byproduct of refining sugarcane, it also has a vicious past. On January 15th of 1919, residents of the North End neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts were devastated by a disaster that occurred at the Purity Distilling Company. Around 12:30 in the afternoon at a storage facility located at 529 Commercial Street, a molasses tank measuring 50 feet tall and 90 feet in diameter collapsed. This caused a wave of molasses that reached 25 feet high at its peak and speeds of up to 56 kilometers an hour. The molasses tank contained as much as 2.3 million US gallons, the equivalent of 3.48 Olympic swimming pools. Witnesses reported that they felt the ground shake and heard a roar, a deep growling, and the machine gun-like sound of rivets shooting out of the tank. The waves swept down the street, engulfing pedestrians, sweeping houses off their foundations, and damaging the adjacent Boston Elevated Railway's Atlantic Avenue structure. When it subsided, 21 people were left dead, with 150 more injured, and numerous animal fatalities, including dogs and horses. Several blocks remained flooded with 2 to 3 feet of molasses. The cleanup took some 87,000 man-hours, and it wasn't until 4 months later that the last body was discovered. A class action lawsuit was brought up against the United States Industrial Alcohol Company, who owned Purity Distilling. They claimed the tank had been blown up by anarchists. After 3 years, a court-appointed auditor found USIA responsible, as the steel was half as thick as needed for the tank size and also lacked manganese, which caused it to be brittle. The lawsuit was the longest and most expensive in Massachusetts' history, and it paved the path for the current oversight the government has over big business. As a result of the Boston molasses disaster, city authorities began requiring the plans for all construction projects to be signed off on by an engineer or architect and filed with the city's building department. This practice soon spread throughout America and is still used to this day. It never ceases to amaze me how much you can learn from a simple question like what is molasses made from. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please give it a like and subscribe. I'll be posting new content Monday to Friday.